Yeah, it is Austria. Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to GRL. It is time for round number 9. I had to double check that for a second. It's round number 9 of season 5, and we are here at Spa-Francorchamps for the second sprint race of this season. My name is Darren Thacker. Joining me again this week is the wonderful Mr. Ashley Silent Thief. Evening, Ashley. How are you?
Yeah, doing pretty well, Dara. Thank you very much for having me along. As always, brilliant to be alongside you once again, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready.
Nice. Well, it's sprint format, new sprint format as well. Goodness me, my words already. We've only been doing 30 seconds and I can't speak. New sprint format for season 5, of course. We've got the sprint race first and then a one-shot quali at 50%. The sprint race grid is set by the reverse championship order. Let's have a quick look at the circuit, though, and the championship standings. Welsh Jack has picked up more points than anybody else in GRL so far this season, and he is 20 points clear of Beeford. Blade a little bit further back as well, but he is well and truly in the mix. And Blade, he won here last season, so he has got quite a bit of pedigree around here. Drazzy won around here in that's a name I haven't seen in a while, but I do miss him. Let's go to the grid. You don't want to see all of those gubbings. And we can see we're about to get going for the sprint race already, Ashley. It's going to be a fast and furious 8 laps, but it's not really going to have any effect on the guys on their starting position for the race. So do you think they're going to really go for it?
Well, you say it doesn't have an effect, but obviously the guys leading the championship are at the back of the grid. So, as you said, reverse championship order for this sprint race. So they've got to fight their way to the front, and 8 laps is not that many to do it. And I do know you do have a few overtaking opportunities around this 7-kilometre circuit, but of course it is still rather difficult, providing there is a DRS train forming. So we'll have to see how it goes, but it will be interesting like it was the last time we had this sprint format back in Austria. So I'm looking forward to it still, of course, and we'll see how things pan out for the drivers.
Yeah, I think it's lucky that some of these guys won't have to worry about the fact that, if they crash, then of course they still have qualifying to set the grids for the main race. So they have that saving grace to help them. But like you said, if we get a DRS train, we're only going to have 6 attempts down the Kemmel straight, I should say, to make that move stick with the DRS. But of course, we've got lots of trips down to the bus stop and of course the other parts of the track. I mean, this is a track where you can really start to overtake in quite a few places, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. It is wide enough, and thankfully it is one of those circuits that is wide enough to facilitate that sort of side-by-side action that you can sometimes see through the middle parts of the sector, particularly sort of the likes of Pouon and the chicane following that. But even down towards sort of Stavelot, Blanchimont, and then of course up to the bus stop chicane. No DRS in activation for those sectors, but you are able to get the slipstream of the guy in front of you. They'll punch a hole in the air, and you following closely behind won't have such a drag on the car and can get alongside. But I'll let you take over for the lights, Dara.
Yeah, let's see who can come out on top in this short but furious sprint race. It's going to be Jacob on pole, and he leads us away. Phoenix and Cam are not going to let him get away too easily on the run down into turn 1 at La Source. But it's going to be Phoenix in the Alpine trying to loop his way around the outside all the way. He's not quite pulled it off, but they're going to be very close on the run down towards Eau Rouge and up towards the Kemmel Straight. Let's see then as they run all the way up through the left and then the right, and it's Jacob who controls comfortably. That is Jacob in a wall, and that could be a safety car. We've got a virtual safety car at least, but that was Jacob very spectacularly into the wall, and it's not the ideal start for him. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer before we get to the one-shot qualifying.
Yeah, he is. That Ferrari, I'm pretty sure I saw do a loop or so as it clattered into that barrier. So unfortunately, we've lost the driver already, and that virtual safety car very much neutralising the field, of course, as it's designed to do so. But ultimately, it enabled it enabled Jacob out front and Phoenix as well, I suppose. It didn't have anyone to defend from, because safety car you can't overtake, or the virtual even as well, you can't overtake. So they are safe for at least this lap, I would say so. But yeah, we'll see how it goes on deeper into this Grand Prix. We're only on lap number 1 still, of course, and the field tightly packed together still. So we'll see who can facilitate some overtakes, but even before DRS is activated.
Yeah, and we wouldn't really want a full safety car, would we? As we go back to green flag racing, Robin's taking advantage of that, going straight past Cam, of course, formerly Rage, on the way through, past the house, of course, which is now demolished in real life. Sam's going to come back for it, but there goes Cam once again for P3. Don't count out FIFA Lord just in the back of this battle, but look at FRT Sam, what a run he's got down towards the bus stop chicane. He's going to have the outside line for the first part. It'll become the inside for the second part. Cam right on the apex, maybe slubbing him up a bit, but a fantastic move from the Red Bull to put himself up into P4. And Robin, he was P3 momentarily, and he slipped back to P5, but he was a podium sitter last week. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, good move there from Sam in that bus stop chicane. Is that him defending the position, or was that him making up another one into the first corner there? I'm not quite sure, but as they fire their way through El Rouge and Radion for the second time and along the Kemmel Straight, this is now where we can see that slipstream effect coming into play. Look at the likes of Robin punch, well, he's trying to follow as well, but FIFA Lord trying to make a move then into Lake Calm. Side by side they go, and Robin's had to take a little bit of the runoff there. I think she'll get away with that because he was a bit squeezed out of room by the looks of him. But look at them, they're all weaving, ducking and diving, trying to find every inch of circuit they can to get an advantage and make some moves and progress their way up. I say that, we've got another safety car there, another virtual one, but that'll neutralise the field once again. Who have we lost this time?
Gibson in the Williams. He is gone. He's gone for a trip to Narnia, I think it's fair to say, so he won't be overly pleased with that. But again, a second virtual safety car in the opening couple of laps. Thank gosh we don't have a full safety car, because that would take up pretty much half of the race here in this short sprint. But Jacob still looking relatively comfortable at the front. Cam on that soft tire, it's working nicely for him at the moment, but it won't last forever. So we'll have to keep an eye on him as we run our way through. I thought we were about to go back to green flag racing, not quite yet, but the field's still very tightly packed, and we're between all the Hasses, aren't we, at the moment? First is a Hass, last is a Hass as we go back to green.
Yeah, back to green once again, so still no DRS inactivation, and of course it should be, I'd imagine, delayed. Was that for Red Bull into the pits? Yes, it was. FRT Sam into the pits and picks up a penalty as well in doing so, and he's retired from the race. So never mind, he felt he clearly wasn't getting to the end. DRS enabled, is that right, Darren? I thought it'd be at least another lap with the virtual safety cars and whatnot, but no. Oh well, never mind. DRS is enabled, so now they will get the DRS in the zone along this Kemmel Straight for the first time, and this now may enable some more overtaking into the chicane at the end of it. Riding on board here with Phoenix, has a little look, thinks better of it. And FIFA Lord behind doing the exact same thing. So Cam Dyson, Robin holding on to their positions for the time being. And just looking up and down the order, B Ford making the best moment of his, well, making the best start that he can. And Welsh Jack actually making the move and getting past him there. But both of them up 8th and 6th places respectively. So they're having a pretty good start of it so far.
Yeah, I think you missed it actually, because Welsh Track was ahead as they got into the Kemmel Straight, and they both got through into Bias, and then it was B-Ford who went all the way around the outside at Lecom before Welsh Track could try and make the move back to the inside at Bruxelles. So very nicely done from Welsh Jack, but B-Ford not letting him get away. Of course, these two, the top two in the championship. B-Ford doesn't want to be P2 in the championship come the end of the season once again. He wants to make sure he is the champion. Oh, sorry, Welsh Jack wants to make sure he is the champion, which means that B-Ford needs to beat him. Let's see though, down towards the bus stop chicane, inside, outside, no, not going to make any kind of move here for Welsh Jack. Notice that Rob Kelly's currently P11, not having the best of evenings himself. FIFA Lord, though, fighting away with Dom, but we're not short of action, are we? Despite there not being many cars, we're not short of it.
No, we're not. I did just realise actually that B Ford on the softer compounded tyres, so he really needs to try and make the most of it now. He's had a couple of virtual safety cars to help him out in this short sprint format. We've got only 8 laps long, of course, but those softs will not go the distance as well as that medium tyre come the final few laps. So here's goes the move then for B Ford, DRS in activation, making it already, and actually Tobias or Sivertson has also got the move. So Welsh Jack there losing 2 positions in one straight. B Ford ahead, and then followed by the Ferrari of Tobias, and then Welsh Jack then rounds out the top 10. He having a little think about it, but yeah, 2 positions lost in the space of a straight. And yeah, that's not what he needed, but of course he'll continue charging forward. He has got that medium tyre, so he will go the distance, I would imagine, much easier than, say, his championship rival B-Ford. But yeah, interesting to see how this shakes out, of course. Still got only halfway, still got a few laps to come. Hopefully no more safety cars will be interrupting us either.
Yeah, of course, DRS, when it was enabled, of course, DRS is enabled immediately after a VSC. It just takes a couple of laps after a full safety car. But it's nice that everyone's got it. Cam still just about in the DRS of Jacob, but Phoenix is looking to make that move himself. The Sovs won't be too happy, I don't think, on the Alfa Romeo come the end of this 8-lap sprint race. Let's see if the Alpine goes to the inside. Thinks Borovit stays right where he is. Same story can be said for FIFA Lord on the back of Dom here. Atom is stalking him as they make their way through the bus stop chicane. But with 4 laps to go, halfway through the sprint race, Jacob still comfortably in front. But we're seeing here, that's Atom to the inside of FIFA Lord. Those medium tyres working well. FIFA Lord a little bit squirrely on the exit. He's going to lose the place and maybe invite B-Ford does invite B-Ford back into the DRS here.
Have I maybe got a different screen to you? Because I'm looking at B-Ford and he's just outside the DRS there of FIFA Lord. Is that correct, Dara? Just to
yes,
clarify.
but look, he's got it.
He has got it. Oh, he has got it. Yeah, interesting then. So that will help him defend from the Ferrari behind. And yes, does so. He does that. As I'm saying it, my words are all getting jumbled up myself here tonight, mate. I'm having a bit of a struggle, but here we go. We'll power on through it and see how we do. But yeah, FIFA Lord making the position back there. B-Ford now maybe beginning to struggle on that soft tyre a little bit. He is being followed closely by, and of course the guys behind will be willing to pounce at a moment's notice. But I'm just riding now on board Robin, and there's a big incident. My word! Cam Dyson, Robin out of this sprint race. And yeah, I think you can all make your own assumptions of what just happened there. And we've got a full safety car, and I think rightly so, because 2 cars are out in that incident.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I looked away for a split second when that happened, and I looked back as you shouted just to see carbon fibre everywhere. We've got a safety car. It'll come in at the end of next lap, because then we have to have 2 laps of green flag racing to the end, but we're only going to have 11 finishes in this sprint race. Of course, points, I believe, for the top 9, if my memory serves me correctly. But we will have to see. Jacob, Phoenix, Atom, 1, 2, and 3. Atom somehow in P3 now. Don't really know how he's got there. B-Ford's pitting. Not too sure why.
There.
Blade and Rob as well are pitting. Maybe they're going for some fresh softs to the end here of this sprint race. That wouldn't be a bad idea, to be fair. But Rob's going to get a little bit held up with the double stack. There he is, having to wait. And he might lose out to Mizzy. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting, these last couple of laps. But we're going to have a lap under safety car.
Yeah, it's only 1 position. I think Rob will not lose any sleep tonight over that. Of course, he'll be on the fresh soft tyre, so he'll hope, like his teammate Blade and Mizzy as well, that once they get to the back and catch up, because they will do. It's a long lap here. That safety car is nowhere near as fast as these Formula 1 cars, and it is a long lap. It's 7 kilometres, so they'll catch right back up to the back of this train, no doubt, and no problem by the time it comes back in. So they'll have the advantage now because they have got the freshest set of tyres. They've only got 2 laps to do, so it will be some push quali laps that they'll be putting in to get the maximum and see what they can achieve then in this sprint race. Of course, I think you are right there, Darrell. I think it is points down to 9th in the format we have here. I'm pretty sure you are correct on that front, so I'm in agreement with you. And of course, the stewards and whatnot will check it all afterwards to make sure that that is correct. But yeah, I'm in agreement. 9 laps it is. So yeah, we'll see how this gets back underway then. Safety car will be in at the end of this lap, and we'll go green for the final few. As Formula 1 obviously wants to keep action alive, doesn't want to finish under safety cars, whether it should or not. That remains to be seen, but yeah, we've lost a few cars. We've only got 11 left. And we are heading into the final sector now, following the what's that? The Aramac Aston Martin Racing Green. There it is, called into the pits now. So BRT Jacob will take up the pace of the pack.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I never understand why the safety car comes in with 2 laps to go. I never understand that. I think it'd be a really interesting game feature to have a safety car near the end of the race. Maybe it's so that you can't, intentionally cause a safety car near the end, and maybe someone loses out with penalties or something like that. But I think it'd be interesting to have as a game feature where you could maybe just select it on so that safety cars go up right to the end of the race, because you might be able to finish on a safety car, because that does happen. But either way, that's a conversation for another day. We will see what Jacob can do. Of course, 2 laps remaining. Beeford is looking to charge his way through a few positions, but his first challenge will be his championship rival and the current championship leader, Welsh Jack. But Jacob, back underway we are here at Spa. It's Jacob from Phoenix from Atom. Of course, Phoenix's penalty means that Atom is in a fantastic position, as we're seeing Tobias. I think this is Sivertson and also Torpen, 3 names for the same guy, trying to make a move on FIFA, but in doing so has let through Welsh Jack. And look at Beeford here.
Yeah, this is going to potentially be side by side up El Rouge and Radion. No, not quite. They've backed out of it quite sensibly. It is very much a death corner if you try and do it side by side in the game. But look at Beeford, he's pretty much pushing these two along, as they're all pushing Welsh Jack along by the looks of it. Who's going to be late? It's on the brakes. Just about Beeford getting through and not hitting into the back of that Williams car. Very well done indeed, and they're both trying to get past this Alpha Tauri as fast as possible. Beeford really showing the superior grip then that he has, and around the outside he goes through No Name corner, and he takes 5th place away from FIFA Lord and Welsh Jack.
Yeah, I think Beeford just had a bit of an oversteer moment there. Went hit the side of Beeford, but no harm done. Here comes Blade to the inside of the Alpha Tauri, and Mizzy and Rob Kelly will be up next. Shame to see that Tobias had a bit of an issue and is out of this sprint race. A lap and a half to go. Here comes Mizzy around the outside. Fantastic move, and Rob Kelly's going to say thank you very much. Rob and FIFA Lord, good friends, so I don't think there was too much worry in the mind of Rob Kelly that he wouldn't get that move done. But look at Beeford, already up to P4 now. He's got his way through on Phoenix. He's got 3 cars to overtake. I definitely wouldn't rule him out getting at least one of them in the last lap, but this could be a podium in the sprint race for the championship contender.
Yeah, it certainly could be. This is a man that is not needing DRS. He has got the pace to do this without, and he is absolutely on a fly. Sets the fastest lap, and I've got to think he may even go faster still on this final lap of the sprint race. He is charging after Dom in that McLaren, and he is sniffing now at a podium spot. Of course, Blade behind Welsh Jack as well, just a bit further back. He's within a 10th of him. Will we see an overtake up the Kemmel Straight into Les Combes? I would imagine we will. He's going to be incredibly late on the brakes. Are we going to see it 3 wide? Yes, we are. Who's going to be latest? And it's not going to be Blade. He backs out, thinks better of it as he follows the 2 in front of them, who are still side by side. Will he get the up and under? No, he can't. It's all ended in tears for all 3 of them, and they are all gone on this final lap. I can't believe I just saw that.
No.
3 of them gone.
That me and you both. This is an 8-lap race at Spa, and we've had 9. Oh no, sorry. Oh yeah, 9 retirements out of 16 in. I'll make that. Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9 out of 16 in an 8-lap race. I don't quite know how it's possible, but it was. To be fair, that was unfortunate because I think Phoenix and Welsh Jack just came together a little bit, and Blaze was just a passenger. All while that's happened, Beefwood's made his way up to P3. He's now going to run for P2 to try and get his way past Atom here, and then he might even have. I mean, it's a very long shot on Jacob, but at P2 here will be incredible. For B4, got to be careful through Blanchimont. They just about get it through. I have no doubt he's going to come down the inside. Forced to the outside. Can he go all the way around there? Looks like he very much can. Atom's not really got an answer, particularly on the traction out of the final corner. Jacob will win, but B4's strategy works for him. He finishes P2. There are 7 finishers in this race. Dom 3rd, Rob Kelly 4th, FIFA Lord and Mizzy in 6th and in 7th. But, oh, come on. There we go, thank you. Quite a sprint race, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, what a finish that was. I thought he may have even sent it on the Haas into the real final corner. Of course, the chicane is always said it's to be the final, but it is still the left hand of it that is the final. I thought he may have sent it. I thought he may have had the grip. But yeah, took it round the outside of his former teammate very nicely. Both of them giving each other racing room, and you can see there it paid off for him because he's managed to get P2 and he gained 13 positions from where he started. So Brilliant sprint race, and it's exactly what B4 needed to close that in on that championship rival of his, Welsh Jack. So he'll be picking up points, and yeah, he'll be very happy with that indeed, I am sure. But yeah, BRT Jacob takes the win of the sprint. B Ford will bring it home in second place, and Atom picks up a brilliant third as well, followed then by Dom in fourth, Rob Kelly managing to fight his way up to fifth in the end, followed by FIFA Lord, Mizzy, and the final finisher in the end of it all. I've got it here as Phoenix, but actually saying that, I don't think Phoenix did finish, did he? It's Mizzy, the final finisher of the sprint.
Yeah, it might just be because he didn't finish the last lap. I don't know really why it's like that. But as it is, this is raining here. This won't be the lobby. We're going to go back out of the lobby and then go back in for another one to set the grid for the race for a one qualifying 50% race. So we'll be back in a little bit. But don't go anywhere because we've got...
Before you disappear, and they may do it again, I'm really sorry to butt in.
No, don't worry.
It's just because last time they did this, it was a bit of fun because they start the race before they retire. So normally it's a bit of fun just to watch them crash into each other. I don't know if you want to
That's a good
stick around
point,
for that or
actually.
not. That's what we did last time. I just don't want to. I don't want you to chop it off so quick, just when I know that that's what happened last time, and I'm sure they'll do it again. So it might be worth sticking around just for this, Dara, just so you can have a little look see.
Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. There's the jump starts. That's what we love to
Yeah,
see.
jumps.
Is anybody? That's B Ford out. Oh, that was Rob Kelly out before turn one. Who's the last finisher? We've got three of them. Atom's
There
still
goes
going.
Dom.
He's going backwards. It's Atom against Robin, who's waiting on the apex of turn one. Now it's just Robin. So
And
Robin
there goes Robin.
wins.
He's just left. Robin wins.
Right then. Well, after that wonderful showing of ability from all of these guys, who half of them weren't even in their cars, we'll see in a few minutes. So stick around, and we'll be back for the one-shot qualifying 50% race for Belgium.
He's still going.
Right, everybody, we are back and we are ready to go for what should be a very exciting one-shot qualifying. I just need to turn my microphone up so that you can hear me properly, but hopefully that works. So we'll go on board with Welsh Jack. That's conveniently placed us on him as we run down towards turn 1. Of course, La Source, difficult corner. Sam and Robin, a couple of quali bans for those two drivers. Robin, of course, last week after blocking Atom at Hungary. Sam has retired as well. Down towards Eau Rouge and up Radion comes Welsh Jack, clipping the first apex all the way through the second, and then running across the third. And then you're onto the Kemmel Straight, the long run, down to the end of Sector 1. DRS is open, fly down here, all the way to the Lecombe chicane. Currently it's Blade's fastest, but we'll see a better picture at the end of Sector 1, and you can see them all moving around into the braking zone at Lecombe. A little bit of a wiggle for Welsh Jack as he runs his way now down the hill towards Bruxelles corner. It's a long right-hander, 180 degrees of rotation, all while slightly off camber. Keep the car rotating all the way to No Name, the left-hand flick before you run downhill once again, all the way to Puon. Puon, of course, double apex left-hander, where we saw a bit of contact at race 1. He's hit the first apex very nicely, and he's just run the car through the second part just to keep it running. Piff Paff chicane, it's a difficult one, right then left. You often feel like you've got not enough downforce for this chicane, but Welsh Jack's made it look easy with only one more corner to go for the end of Sector 2. Run it all the way through onto the exit curb, and you can see Welsh Jack is up into P2B Ford currently. The fastest driver through the first couple of sectors, not something we often see. Up through Blanchimont, we're about to go. Blades with some good straight line speed has put himself up from third to first on the run down towards the bus stop chicane. Can anybody topple him in these last couple of corners? Let's see, braking hard before the very, very tight chicane. Right then left, get on the power as soon as he possibly can, and up towards the line. Blades looks like he's got pole, and he does, just about 40.9, just ahead of FIFA, but there was not much in it there, Ashley.
No, there wasn't. I think Welsh Jack's actually picked B-Ford to second as well. So B-Ford, I think, is going to start in third. Yes, we can see it there. Confirm it with your eyes. B-Ford in third. I do want to say, brilliant lap from Dom there, putting it into P4. But equally, you've got Cam Dyson, Gibson. They've all done a brilliant job here in qualifying. So this is going to be, I think, a pretty good race. The lap times between the drivers very close indeed. Only a few tenths separating them. So I'm looking forward to this one. If you ask me, Dara, who's your money on to win though? I'll ask you first.
Oh god, I'm still gonna go with B-Ford. I've always gone for B-Ford, and I've often come out right, so I'm gonna stay with it. I'm still gonna go for it.
Sticking to your guns, I like it. I seem to switch it up every week. So last week it was Sousa, didn't quite work out for me because Welsh Jack went on to a storming victory in the end. Do you know, I'm going to give it to Blade, the man on pole, and it's not because he's on pole, it's because we just saw in qualifying that car clearly has some straight line speed, so I think he's going to be very difficult to overtake if I'm being honest. And if he does get overtaken, he looks like he's got the pace to pass him back quite easily. So my money's on Blade, and he won it here last season as well, so he knows how to win it.
He absolutely does. We've got 22 laps, don't we? To the end, but let's see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully, we don't have the shenanigans that we had in the sprint race. There we go. I remember what it is now. But we'll have to see. I mean, Blade, B-Ford, and Welsh Jack, top 3 is a very, very strong trio at the front of the field. We'll have to see how they do. I mean, a couple of safety cars can mix it up. Generally, a very much easy one-stop here at Spa. You don't want to do two-stop if you can help it. So we'll wait and see. But it's a nice sunny day, isn't it? That's the important thing.
It is. The sun is shining. I'm ready for this Grand Prix. Spa does tend to be quite a good track, albeit it's not one of your favourites, I know, Dara. But again, you've got the traditional guys at the front, as you would expect. They are very much becoming the new Ham Verbot from days gone by. So I can't wait to get this underway and see what it is. But they'll all be putting on their strategies now. I've been seeing it in the chat. They're being told to ready up, so we should be getting under green conditions here in Spa. And yeah, I can't wait for this one. I can't say any more that I can't wait, because I am looking forward to some good racing action, and I think it will be a lot cleaner. The race is a lot longer this time around, so give them a chance. They're not gonna absolutely send it like the sprint, where they feel like they need to get past in a hurry. They can play it a little bit longer. They can put into the strategy a bit more and play into that, rather than just sending moves because they feel like they have to. So yeah, you should see a bit more cautioned driving, shall we say, in the actual race here. So yeah, should be good.
Yeah, they should be good. Let's keep an eye on and let's see what does unfold. In this one, I mean, it should be quite an exciting race. Spa often gives us some fantastic races, but we'll have to wait and see. There's been many a race where I've watched at Spa and it's really been decided at the final chicane, so we'll keep an eye on it. All the way through, but we're still waiting for that ready up. But here we go, 5 red lights then here at Spa for round 9 of season 5 in GRL. It's going to be Blades on pole. Can he get the run down towards turn 1? It's not been the greatest of start, and I think Welsh Jack is going to have a run around the outside here, but Blades controlling the inside on a medium compound of tyre. He really needs to make sure he leads his way down towards the Lacombe chicane. There's already crashed at the back. That's going to be Mizzy spinning around near the rear of the field, but look at Dom trying to trail these top 3 up the hill. Looking at the tyres, big mix of strategies across the field, but we've already got a virtual safety car right from the off.
Yeah, that will neutralise this race immediately from the out, and no one going to get a chance to overtake into the Lacombe chicane on this first lap. So Blade, Welsh Jack, B4, Dom, they can all breathe a sigh of relief. Gibson there just trailing off as we then get a gap back to FGE Jacob. We've got 2 Jacobs tonight here, Dara, so you might want to bear that one in mind, as I think, yeah, BRT Jacob a bit further down the grid, but they are both here, so bear that one in mind. But yeah, luckily no cars retiring, as it was a fairly slow incident in turn 1 there, and we should, I would imagine, get back under green fairly quickly, because the virtual safety car, it doesn't tend to stay out as long, and all cars are back on the track and racing once again, should we say. So should come in any moment now, I'm sure. But yeah, neutralising the field, and yeah, they'll keep line astern for the minute. As you can see there, the possible race strategies. It is a one-stop this evening. Soft to the mediums or mediums to the hard. As you can see, I would imagine they've either gone for mediums now or hards, and then they'll switch to the alternative when they get to that pit stop. Generally about lap 11 halfway. You do split it quite nicely here at Spa. As yeah, making our way through Stavelot and up to Blanchemont, and we're still under VSC.
We are, but there we go, back to green flag racing now. Very good restart seemingly from Dom and from B-Ford on the back of Welsh Jack, but here comes the McLaren trying to come up the inside of B-Ford and Welsh Jack here. Very, very bold move to try and pick off 2 of the championship contenders in the one corner. B-Ford not letting him get away with it easily, but don't can up Gibson here. He's on that soft compounded tyre, 2 hard runners in front, and the soft tyre should work much, much quicker. Look at Gibson sticking a nose to the inside. B-Ford leaving him room. B-Ford really just letting him through, just saying, yeah, you go attack those guys up in front and make sure that I don't have to do the work.
Yeah, he's going to happily play the long game in this is B-Ford. He's on that harder compound tyre. He knows he hasn't probably got the pace of Gibson on that softer compound, but yeah, he'll happily let him do the work and pick up the pieces afterwards, as Gibson now mounting an attack. Oh, he's going to be around the outside of Dom into Lacombe, but never mind, he's already got the move done before they get to the braking zone, and we've now got 2 Williams then up into the podium spots as Blade still charges on out front. He's just about opened up the second gap back to Welsh Jack, but the question remains, will he still have that gap by the time we get to the DRS at the end of this lap when it comes in activation? So he's going to try and make a run of it now whilst he has the chance. A few moves a bit further down, Zach Mills there making a move up, as we've got 3 wide pretty much through Pouon back here for P7 sorry, Tobias or Tobias making its way round the outside into the chicane. That's a car on the grass as well. The Alpine of Atom trying to find some space as it begins to settle down once again, and they start finding their feet and sort of head back into sort of a straight line of things here. But it's not over. They're going to be side by side still going up towards the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, let's see. Atom's got a time penalty, which is not what he wants to see. Zach Miles is getting past Tobias down in towards, or through Blanchimont. But Tobias back down the inside, very late on the brakes in the Ferrari. Zach Miles is going to say, yeah, I'll try the up and under, but he's got to remember that DRS is going to come up very quickly as well, and he'll want to benefit from that. Gap between the two Ferraris is nearly 3 seconds now, so it's a big old gap between those two at the moment. Tobias feeling a need to defend down into Le Source, when he knows surely that Zach Miles will just pick up that DRS and run all the way down in towards Les Cons with it. But as it is, we've got Blades away from Welsh Jack, away from Gibson, and then Dom and B Ford very much close in behind. I think they're both going to be able to come through here, down in towards Les Cons, but keep an eye on B Ford because he might have a run for P3 here. He's just going to wait, I think, before making any moves, and it means Dom's P3, B Ford's P4, and Gibson's back in P5 again.
Yeah, he doesn't need to rush this before. He can play that strategy game, like I said last lap when he let Gibson through, because he knew that that soft tyre was going to be quicker. But, you know, 3 laps in, and I think maybe Gibson's already starting to feel the hurt that soft is giving him, because the tread will disappear a lot quicker than these guys around him. So it'll be interesting to see how far he may fall. But at the moment, he's still hanging on to P5, and he's still within that DRS train. So for the time being, he's doing A-OK. But look at this battle back here for 7th and down. Zach Miles leading this. And I tell you what, Darrett, it's looking almost like a car park just after Pouon into the chicane. They're absolutely, you know, nose to tail, pushing each other around the circuit. This is absolutely brilliant to watch. Look at them. They're still side by side through Stavolo.
Yeah, Atom's just in front. I mean, this goes all the way down to P15, the battle between 7th and 15th. That is 9 cars then fighting it out here on the run down through Blanchimont. What a tightly packed little train. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as they all run their way through. Down towards the bus stop chicane. It's going to be Tobias now on the attack, trying to make a move to the inside in the Ferrari. Sam has walked his way through for the time being as they... Oh, bit of contact there. I think Tobias having a bit of oversteer. And look at Rob trying to make his way through. Trying to find an inside line. Not going to find it there. As Atom and Tobias now going side by side. Rob trying to line them up nicely through the apex of Le Source. But this is some fantastic racing.
This is what we love to see, Darren. This is what we come here to watch week after week, is when you get on the track racing such as this. It is absolute spectacle to see. My word, look at that! The Aston Martin's completely out and round, the front wing gone. And that's probably going to be a virtual safety car potentially. Yellow flag flying. He's still not right, and they're still going on racing. No safety car as of yet. I think it may even not come out at all. So, no, we'll continue on nonetheless. Just the yellow sector for the time being there in the first one, as we've had another car off down at turn 1 as well. But as I say, this is what we come to see. This is what we want to see, is close on-track action like this. And I tell you what, I can't wipe the grin off my face right now. I'm in a permanent smile from watching it.
Yeah, it's been very good so far, isn't it? Let's see if this continues, though. I mean, Blade's got a nice lead at the front. You'd expect that with him on that medium compound tyre. Inside line here for Robin on Rob. He's going to have that move done. And Rob's got to be careful because Jacob, the sprint race winner, is going to come around the outside and does. So Rob losing 2 positions in the space of no time at all. FIFA Lord and Phoenix right on his tail now. But as we run through with a yellow flag at the back, that is Mizzy. But look at B Ford now. B Ford really trying to pressure Dom on the way down into the bus stop chicane. And B Ford's going to make the move past Dom into the bus stop, trying to get through and keep within DRS of Welsh Jack, but we have a safety car and they all come in.
Yeah, that's Mizzy that's called that. He's retired on track, and he's... I'm not going to say he's intentionally caused that, because I don't think that was intentional, but it's that naughty boy. He's going to get a big slap on the wrist, I think, from that one, as, yeah, safety car has been called. It is now out on track, and we're now going to get a flurry of action in the pit stops here, because I would imagine a couple of these guys may even try and go to the end if they have that hard compound tyre on now, as Blade... Did Blade pit? Blade hasn't pitted.
No, he didn't get a chance. He didn't get a chance, but the safety car went past. Or he's past the safety car, sorry, so it's fine for him. It's not too much of a panic. But yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, FIFA Lord hasn't pitted as well. He's actually, well, he's in second at the moment. He's ahead of the rest of the pack here. But yeah, on that hard compound tyre, he feels he doesn't need to come in yet. And I can say fair enough, you don't need to necessarily. That tyre will go a long way, and it means it can go even further now at this reduced pace. But yeah, he's taken net P2 of this race at the moment as FIFA Lord, so good on him, fair play. I wish to see where he ends up in all of this, but yeah, Safety car now. They'll all end up at a reduced pace as they wait to be collected. Of course, as Darren clarified there, Blade wasn't picked up by it first time round. So the next time the leader comes by, that safety car will pick him up, and then we will be backing everyone into a long train. And that could mean then that we get a nice big battle from 7th down to 15th again, Dara. I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Even from 1st down to 15th, of course, because they'll all be bunched up once again. But we'll have to wait and see. People are going very slowly. He didn't pit, which is interesting. Let's see if Blades does decide to come into the box. I'm sure he will, but let's see. Through the final part, yeah, there we go. Into the pit lane comes the race leader. He should still come out in the race lead by right, but there's no guaranteeing that. We'll keep an eye on his pit stop. You can see the pit lane here. It's slightly elevated, and of course you cut off a bit of the first corner, don't you? So that it kind of helps your line.
It does, and I feel like the pit lane here is not, the pit lane itself isn't actually that long. So, if you can get in and out, it is a fairly short pit stop, because once you get past that line you're just seeing there, yeah, all right, you've got to go around a fairly tight right-hand corner, but you've cut off a bit of the circuit, and once you're past that line, you're up to full racing speed once again, should you wish. So, yeah, to me, it seems like quite a short run in that pit stop, but yeah, FIFA Lord opting to stay out still. Blade pitted, he's back out there once again. He's gone. Is that on the medium tyre? Is that? I'm going to check actually now. Should we get some? Who's on what tyre? There we go. We've got a big mix of tyres still. Some on the medium, some on the hard. It's about 50-50. So we'll be interesting to see what happens then when we go back under green racing conditions, because those medium tyred runners, you would imagine, Dara, they'll probably have to pit again, wouldn't they?
Probably, yeah, very likely so. I mean, Blades is committed to that 2-stop, hasn't he? Because he's gone medium, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But we're behind safety car. I think we're going to be behind safety car one more lap after this one, because Zach is still in the pit lane. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think maybe they can get this medium to the end, but it's going to be tough. And if we've got another safety car, they'll surely come in again.
Yeah, they certainly will do. It would be a no-brainer if that happened. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, of course, and. Yeah, we're just waiting for the field then to bunch up, close the gaps, so we are a nice big train, coupled together, not physically, but somewhat mentally, if you want to think about it in that sense. And then we'll wait for that safety car to jump on in, and we can go green racing once again here at Spa, and of course it is a very long lap. We'll see who has been the biggest winner and loser then in this Grand Prix so far. Of course, FIFA Lord 15 positions up, but has yet to make a pit stop, but he is in net P2, so that is his actual position. He is fighting for it there. Of course, Blade the leader at the moment, and then followed by Welsh Jack P3, B Ford 4, Dom in 5th, and then we have FGE Jacob in 6th. Then Gibson, Sam, and then BRT Jacob 9th, and Robin will round out the top 10. And then we do head back to Tobias, Atom, Rob Kelly, Phoenix, Cam Dyson, Stanners, and then Zach Miles trailing off the back at the moment as he had that incident up the Kemmel Straight, which I felt was almost the start of this sort of safety car period we were in. But Mizzy ultimately, the man DNFing, or should I say retiring on the circuit, which has brought this safety car out and the period that we are currently under. But yeah, I think one more lap should do, shouldn't it, Dara? And then we should get back to green.
Yeah, we should have enough time. Or Zach could easily. I mean, his Cam does come into the pit lane, but he'll be able to gain back. It's a very long lap here. So yeah, it should be the end of this lap, end of lap 7, that we get racing back underway. 15 laps then to the flag. But I mean, it's really anybody's game from here. It's going to be difficult, I think, for Blades to get away properly. But if there's another safety car, the race really comes back to him. He's got options on the tyre. So I think it's going to be interesting just to see how this all plays out. But for now, it's open, isn't it?
It is, and what is interesting to see for me, really, is, I mean, of course, FIFA Lord hasn't pitted yet. I think he may know then that the guys on the mediums, they're probably going to have to pit again as well. So I really want to see where FIFA Lord actually comes out by the time we see the checkered flag. Still a long ways to go, though. Anything can still happen. And yeah, those guys on those mediums, though, that have already been on it, well, actually, saying that, let me rephrase it. The guys on the medium tyres, I would imagine, will have to make another stop. which will then, of course, play into the hands of the hard runners. But then the hard runners, their lap times are gonna drop off once we get into the closing stages. The guys then, I would imagine, they'll put on a soft set of tyres to really maximise their pace and speed, lighter fuel loads, more rubbered in circuit. They can really abuse that tyre and get as much out of it as they can. And then you will start to see the difference in speed between everyone again. So, yeah, it could be anyone's game. I really can't say who's going to do what at this point. The only thing that Blade's got going for him at this point, he has got FIFA Lord, I would imagine, as somewhat of a back gunner, because he wasn't on the same sort of pace as the front runners to start off with. And so that means Welsh Jack, B4, Dom, the likes, are all going to have to get past him.
Yeah, but safety car is in this lap. We're going to find out very soon who's really going on the right tyre, who's going to get the best restart, and who's going to get the tyres up to temperature very, very quickly. But it's going to be Blades who's going to lead us away. I think he's got a little bit of a buffer. He's not going to have a long buffer, you'd say, because you'd think that Welsh Jack is going to be keen to get through on FIFA Lord pretty quickly, but he's got a little bit of time to try and get away, with FIFA Lord probably not as quick on that older hard tyre as he will be on the fresh medium. But we'll wait for him to get us back underway. We'll see when he decides to release the pack. Of course, he hasn't gone yet, but he actually has now. He's gone very, very early, and he's kind of caught FIFA a little bit by surprise. Maybe wanting to take advantage of the fresh tyres through this bus stop chicane, because he knows he's going to pick up some time through there. On the exit, you can see gaining a couple of tenths, a few tenths through there, and Welsh Jack's then going to try the move down in towards turn 1. He knows he needs to, really. It's going to be the outside line. Does FIFA Lord fight it? A little bit, but Welsh Jack is going to control the line, going to control the position, and it's going to be B-Ford up next to try and make his way through, and it's not going to take him very long either to find his way up onto the podium places for now. With FIFA Lord, he might be a sitting duck for quite a few of these guys now.
Yeah, he may well be, but I have noticed Blade, sorry, has actually already opened up over a second to Welsh Jack, so that little buffer that FIFA Lord gave him definitely helped somewhat, as Dom has now also made his way past FIFA Lord, so he is dropping like a stone in a lake at the moment. Jacob's going to be lining him up next, as yeah, that tyre differential clearly visible at the moment, but there's only 4 laps between the tyres, so I'm quite surprised to see that it is such a big difference. Of course, mediums to hards there's a difference, but even Jacob here on the hards, same tyre, and the pace difference does seem to be quite evident, just by simply looking at the pace of them on the circuit. So he's already looking to maybe get onto the back and line up a move into the middle chicane here, before then we come down towards Stavelot. Yeah, look, he's already on the gearbox, all over him, sniffing that 5th position is Jacob. Through Stavelot they go, pretty much pushing him round, and I'm sure he'll get it into the bus stop. Mate,
but I think this issue is that they've got to wait behind, really, FIFA Lord, before they can make the move. It means they can lose positions. I mean, that was really close, wasn't it? Oh, Jacob's around down at Blanchimont, but I think he's kept it going. Sam around the outside of Gibson here, trying to make a move while Gibson can't get through on FIFA Lord. Welsh Jack fastest lap and trailing Blaze, and we've got a top 4, really, and then we've got the rest. Jacob is through, but look at this, Sam trying to make his way through, but Tobias to the inside of Gibson into turn 1. He's got that one done, and there are really moves everywhere.
There are. I saw in the background as BRT Jacob retires then in the pit lane, sensibly retiring in the pit lane. Not that I want him to see him out, but he's done it in the pit lane, which is the sensible thing about it. But I just saw him slam into the wall at Blanchimont. I don't know if there was contact between him and another, but either way, he is out of this race, and we have still got it on our hands. Of course, the front 4 seem to be running away with it somewhat, but the rest of us here, there seems to be a big battle. Another safety car, as Zach Miles is now retired as well. What happened back there? Did you see it, Darryl, or
nope.
Is it a bit out of shot?
I didn't see it. I mean, it might be contact with Stanners. I mean, they were near each other, it seemed, on track, but we have another safety car. Don't really know what we're going to do from here, though. Maybe the medium hard runners go back to another medium, possibly?
Yeah, I think from here, I know it's only 2 laps, but you should get a medium to the end. So the hard runners, if they want, they probably can get onto a medium, because they'll have at least 2 laps under safety car. And by that point you are at the halfway mark at reduced pace, so you won't be burning off as much rubber off that tyre. So of course the fuel won't be burning off as much, but either way the tyre won't be being shredded up as much either. So no, I think mediums to the end at this point is doable, and of course if you're on that medium, chuck on the hard in your happy days, you're going to be laughing, quite frankly, in my opinion. So that front four, I'd imagine you'll see them jump onto the hard, and the hards now jump onto the medium, and it should be a straight fight to the end. It's just going to be a matter of who can control the tyre wear best, and look after them as better than the others potentially.
Yeah, does anybody stay out at all? Everyone and their gran has come in so far. Phoenix is going to take the lead here. I do believe down towards turn 1, yeah, Phoenix is going to take the lead pretty easily here. But everyone else, maybe Cam as well, might pick up P2, but Blade's going to have an inside line through the opening corner, and yeah, that's going to be P2 for Blades, P3 for Cam, and there's another car once again between Blades and Cam, but Phoenix this time is the car who will dictate the pace.
Yeah, he will, and he's on the hard tyre. He's done 5 laps on it, so he did this under the last safety car that we just had. And, well, he should get that to the end, but of course, you would argue he's a bit out of place at the moment, being in the lead of the Grand Prix. But, track position, albeit, at Spa, it's not as key. It still is a nice thing to have, being ahead of your competitors. You can dictate the pace of the field behind you somewhat. Provided you can defend, of course, but yeah, you don't have the pressure of having to keep up with your competitors in front. You are dictating the pace, so you go what you feel is appropriate and okay, and everyone else kind of has to follow through. Of course, they may want to get past if they feel you're going a bit too slow, but it's not a bad position to be in, even on slightly older hard tyres.
Yeah, absolutely not. But we're going to have to see how this pans out. I don't think Phoenix has picked the right strategy here, because we saw what happened to FIFA Lord, and it wasn't positive, wasn't it? So, we'll keep an eye, but I'm not too sure this is going to work out for him. Cam on those older mediums as well. He's going to get swallowed, you'd think, over the first couple of laps. But let's see. I mean, still quite a long way to go. I mean, by the end of this safety car, I think we're still going to have 11 laps to go. So quite a while for this to be for this to change.
Yeah, we are going to have, I think, 11 laps. I think there'll be one more after this, but we'll find out in just a few seconds' time as it reaches the end of Sector 2, start of Sector 3. They've hit the timing line. Safety car's still out, not been called in. So, no, there'll probably be another lap of this to come. But, yeah, Cam Dyson out there on old mediums. So I would imagine he's just going to sink. I can't really see him swimming at the top there on that older compounder tyre. And the guys behind him on the much fresher tyres are just going to blitz past him, you would imagine. The thing that's interested me, though, Blade on the hard, everyone else on the medium. So, does Blade know something they don't? Or have they made, or has Blade, made the wrong decision potentially? Sometimes it's good to be a sheep, but then other times you really want to be the wolf and go aggressive. But in my opinion, if I was Blade, I would have absolutely stuck on the hard. I think that's the perfect strategy for me. It's exactly what I would have done in that situation as well. I don't know about you, Dara, but yeah, it would have been hard tyres for me as well, because you've got over half race distance still to go.
Yeah, it's a difficult call to make, really, isn't it? But it's at this stage of the race where you've got to make a call, because if there's another safety car, you can maybe think of a soft, but it's far too early for that right now, isn't it? So, yeah, I think if you had the option of a medium, these drivers went to a medium. But if you had to go back to a hard, they went to a hard, and I think that's the balance that we've struck. But we're still on the safe car. It's going to come in this lap, hopefully. Yeah,
I can remember back. I mean, different situation. I can remember back in my UCRC days, and we had a track which was going from wet to dry. But it's a similar sort of situation of what tyre do you want to stick on under safety car? We were under safety car. It was wet. The rain had stopped. We knew it was drying up, and I decided to myself put on the soft, dry tyre, even though it was still wet out on circuit. And I just remember safety car came in, and I was like, it's still a bit wet, I thought, okay, I've committed to it. I've got to go with it. I had one lap round, and I thought, oh no, I've made the wrong decision. I'm losing it out to the guys that stuck it on the intermediate still. And then after that first lap, I thought, hang on, there's the dry line. And before you knew it, I was absolutely leaps and bounds in terms of pace ahead of my rivals. So on that day, I came out on top, thankfully. But it's a similar situation. What tyre do you stick on under this safety car period, especially in those awkward sort of transitional phases? Of course, wet track to dry track is very different to just a straight up dry track, but you still have to make those key those key decisions to what strategy you go for.
Yeah, but we're going to find out. Safety car is in this lap. Phoenix will be the one dictating the pace. Blades will be hoping to get through as soon as he possibly can. But the Alpine, I think it's fair to say, hasn't really been at the races so far today. He finds himself in the lead of the race, and he's got the entire field at his disposal. But let's see when he decides to drop the hammer. Alpine, I mean, if in real life this season, if they found themselves in the lead of this race, they'd be in dreamland, I think it's fair to say. But let's see when he decides to go, waiting. But he's going very slowly, which makes me think he's going to go relatively soon. Or he might be going all the way to Blanchemont, maybe. Let's see, what do I know? Still going slowly. I would have gone by now, personally, because you want to build up as much of a gap before the line as you can. But he's still waiting, maybe just trying to wait for a weird moment to catch out Blades here as we run up towards the bus stop chicane. He might go through the exit of the second part. Blades got to be aware of that. He's dropped back a little bit. But Phoenix, he's not yet gone. He's leaving it until the last second as we're seeing a bit of contact in behind. I think Cam's at the back of Blades there. I think Cam even may have, or he nearly overtook before the line, but Blades back down the inside should be able to control the line. But Cam around the outside got some great exit and a great traction out of the corner, and he's made his way up to P2. And now Welsh Jack might have a look at Blades himself.
Yeah, you know what? I think that was an absolute masterstroke from Phoenix, actually, in the end, albeit he may become vulnerable now. Down the Kemmel Straight they fly, but at the moment he's still in the lead, and actually he may even have a rear gunner of Cam Dyson in P2, and he does as Blade loses out into the Lacombe chicane, and he now has that rear gunner behind him. And let's see what they can do as they fire it down to Brulage. I can't remember what you said there, Darryl, earlier, but either way, yeah, through No Name Corner they go, and well, they've now ahead of this field. But no, I think that was a masterstroke of genius strategy there from Phoenix at the start. He backed everybody up, and as they all figured it, or maybe they thought he was going to fire it out at the final chicane, he just waited that extra second or so to catch them all by surprise, and then he went and yeah, dropped the hammer. I think at a brilliant time there.
Yeah, it was a good restart in the end, and those mediums look like they're working all right on Cam for the time being. I mean, Welshak and B-Ford, they are clambering over, trying to get through on Blades here, and I think B-Ford may be the one having a bit of a go. Not using any DR or ERS, I should say, for the time being. On the run down in towards the bus stop, we're going to have 10 to go on the completion of this lap, but still a lot to answer here. Phoenix doing well. I mean, Phoenix can go to the end, but the tyres are going to be screaming at him by the end of the race. But he's in a good position. He hasn't really lost anything on the opening lap after the restart.
No, he hasn't. And as I said before, track position I still feel is quite a powerful thing. Not only physically, but actually mentally as well. In the mind, it's always good to know that you're out near the front, and that maybe you feel like you're not meant to be there in a way, and I'm not saying they're not deserving of it, but I feel like maybe they're a bit out of place in this grid at the moment. You've got some really quick guys behind them that you would expect to be the front three, you would say, and the fact that they're holding on for the moment. Phoenix still leads from Cam Dyson from Blade. Another lap we go round then, and let's see if we can see let's see if we can get any moves through the middle part of this sector, or middle part of this track. It is very difficult to make a move, as without the DRS you are very much solely reliant on your skill, technique, and of course the tyres underneath you, as B4 is looking very racy indeed, getting all very close to the back of that Haas of Blade. Will we maybe see a move from him into the chicane? Not quite at the moment. I don't think he's got the pace to get alongside just in that middle sector. Of course, DRS not there, so it can be quite tricky, but yeah, looking very racy indeed.
Yeah, let's see then. B-Ford right on the back of Blades here. Maybe trying to find his way through, using some overtake, really trying to force the issue around the outside. He'll have to look at Blanchemont. This is going to be brave if he can make this one stick. They're right on the back of Cam as well. There's contact. They're still going. I was worried that Blades would be in a wall there, but they're not. B4, though, still got the inside line down in towards the bus stop chicane. It's going to be the outside line for the second part. Can he get the traction down? He's on that softer compound of tyre, same age, and he can get the traction. It looks like B4 might be able to take P3, but Blades isn't giving it up. Inside line for B4, down in towards turn 1. Welsh Jack trying a bit of a line up the inside as well, and Welsh Jack is now going to be side by side on the run up towards Blanchimont. Sorry, not Blanchimont, Eau Rouge.
Yeah, this is going to be a straight up drag race then on the Camel Straight. DRS will be in activation now for all of these guys behind Phoenix out front. So he is now going to be an absolute sitting duck. Will we maybe see this 4 wide free ride into Lake Com? There they go, a couple cars going side by side, but B4 then trying to take the lead of this race. Can Dice not giving an inch and not giving this up by any means, and he still holds the lead of this Grand Prix. B4 going to have the inside line then through this right-hander, tricky corner to navigate. It is off-cambered, but B4 just about keeps it on the inside, hooked up, takes the position, and now Cam Dyson becomes under threat from Welsh Jack. He's actually already got the move done into Pouon. So there they go, championship leaders 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think he knew he needed to get that move done as quickly as he possibly could, Welsh Jack, and he just about got it up towards Pouon. But, I mean, this train for the lead is very much tight. There's going to be another 8 laps at the end of this one, and nothing is done by any means at all. I mean, Cam is still in there. Those tyres are going to be screaming by the end of the race, but he's not losing that much time. Blades is looking keen. He knows he's got to get through if he wants to keep tabs in this race, but Cam not going to give this one up. Blades around the outside. He was the one being attacked around the outside, but he attacks this lap, and he's now up into P3, and Phoenix and Cam now starting to fall down the field a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of what we expect, I think, Darren. They're beginning to struggle a little bit, the tyres being just that few extra laps older. And, I hate to say it because I feel like they're probably not where they should be in the Grand Prix in a sense, as they go, side by side into turn 1. There's contact, though, and then they go round. Are they going to hit the wall? Just about keep out of it. Well done, boys, but yeah, that wasn't very pretty to watch. Phoenix now and Tobias as they make contact once again, as the Alpines lost his front wing. I wonder if that was a bit of argy-bargy, cheeky play. I'm still going to run on board of this, because this is, I think that was uncalled for there. Safety car caused from it as well. Yeah, that's not what you want to see, is it, Darragh? That's not good sportsmanship, in my opinion. I'm not afraid to say it, because...
what did happen? Because I was watching the battle for the front. What actually happened between them?
Yeah, no, I think on board, I mean, you can watch it back, of course, but on board it looked as though Phoenix, Tobias got a bit, they were side by side into turn 1, and I think it was just a bit too much contact for one another's likings, and then they pretty much started turning into each other, heading down towards Del Rouge and then up into the Kemmel. You can see what's happened now is you've got Tobias down at the back and Phoenix is DNF, and that's what's caused this safety car. So it wasn't great driving from either of them, but it didn't need a reaction like that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, Scoobers might have something to say about it then. Lap 15 of 22. Everyone, I think, is going to go onto a soft tyre here, and I have no doubt in my mind about it. So I think we're going to see everybody into the pit lane pretty much immediately. And then the safety car should come in at the end... come in at the end of the following lap. Well, no, it shouldn't. It should come out a lap after. So probably at the end of lap 17, then hopefully we'll have 5 laps to the end.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a nice sprint out of it once again. So hopefully we won't see any more retirements like we saw in the sprint. But it could well end up that way because everyone's going to go. What on earth is going on there? Cam Dyson is into the wall, trying to make his way into the pits. He's now lost his front wing. He had to cut across the pit lane there to make it. He's out. He's retired. He's gone into the back of the McLaren, and he's DNF'd. What on earth am I watching? Well, there's another car gone, and that was unfortunately Cam Dyson down and out as the McLarens here begin to double stack. What is happening in this race? I do not know. But what we do know, everyone's heading onto that soft tyre for this, sprint to the finish line, Darragh.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, isn't it? 12 drivers going all the way to the end, but it's going to be Jack, then Blades, then Jacob, the top 3. B4's dropped back to P5 here, so not the best stop for him. And he's got some work to do. Atom's now 4. Where did that come from?
He must have got held up in the pit lane, and as I sit here thinking I may change my my name's a crash cam because everyone I seem to ride on board with ends up in the wall or something happens. So whoever doesn't, maybe they can pay me if they want a rival out or don't want them to crash out because I appear to be cursed this evening. I don't know what's going on, but either way, yeah, no, I think Atom he's done quite well getting. He didn't get held up in the pits so much, unlike B Ford, unfortunately. Though he's lost out a little bit. Yeah, he's down in P5.
I mean, you wouldn't say no to some free cash, would you? So.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
No one would. Don't be silly. But yeah, let's see. I think this safety car result's really going to be quite important for the championship. Of course, Welsh Jack at the moment picking up a lot more points than B Ford would be, and that gap is already quite large in the championship. B Ford needs to make sure that he minimises that loss to Welsh Jack as much as possible. Otherwise, it's going to become a little bit difficult to gain those points back, especially as we're going into the break week mid-season next week.
I was just about to bring that up. Where are we in the season? Because the weeks just blend into one for me, and I'm trying to figure out whereabouts we are. Well, actually, Darrell, you say that we're on round 9 now, and there's only 17, so actually we're over. We're about to get to the halfway point once we finish this. So yeah, you're right. It is halfway point now. I say that like I was trying to correct you. No, you were bang on the money. So no, well done. Yeah, we're halfway at this point. So yeah, he's going to start struggling if that gap keeps increasing because he'll be running out of races. And of course, he doesn't want to finish second again, does he? He wants to take that championship and bring it home like he did in season 3. But he's got his work cut out for him. He's in 5th place. He's 4 positions off his rival, who is in the lead of this Grand Prix. And he's got some quick drivers in between as well. So B Ford has got a challenge, but if anyone's up to it, it's definitely him.
Yeah, let's see then. Safety car hopefully in at the end of this lap. Still got 12 cars, of course. But yeah, Jacob looking for a good result as well at the moment. Currently up in P3. A few guys, FIFA Lord up in P6, he's done a nice job, hasn't he, after that being near the front on that safety car initially. He's doing quite well at this stage of the race, but of course he's got to bring it home. But everyone on the same tire now, it really is just a sprint to the finish.
Yeah, he's got to try and bring that car home, like you say, but he has got Dom, Gibson, Rob Kelly staring him down, and we know what those guys can do. They are quick, and of course Dom, he was running very much in the top 4 for the majority of this race, so he's probably thankful for that second safety car because he actually had a big spin coming out of Pouon, I did see a few laps ago before we got it, so he's probably quite grateful for this safety car, but he has got some work to do. He's got it cut out for him in these closing stages of the Grand Prix. But hopefully you're right, Darrell. Hopefully we'll go back to green conditions fairly soon as we see them all trundling their way round behind that Aston Martin. And it is going to be a straight up sprint to the finish now. And we'll have to see who can come out on top, who has saved all of their sort of talent and skill for this final burst of energy in this Grand Prix. Who's got it all left to do? And that answer will be answered fairly shortly as we get into the final few laps.
Well, I mean, quickly from you, who do you think's winning from this position?
I've still got my money on Blade. He's currently P2. He's looking very quick and racy, and like I say, that car looks to be an absolute rocket in a straight line. So I would imagine that, you know, Welsh Jack's going to punch the hole of air in front of him, and he should hopefully, with Slipstream, just breeze on through it and get past that Williams. So my money's still on the same man, and that's going to be Blade. He knows how to win. He won it last season, and he's in a good position to still do it.
Yeah, I'll stick with B4 then. He looks like an outside shot, but B4's known for coming back in the race. We'll see if he can do it this time around. It's going to be difficult, but I back him to do it. Right, when does Welsh Jack decide to go here? When does he release the field? This is going to be important
he's
for the
gone.
rest of his season, and he's gone very early, hasn't he? Very much like what Blades did after the first restart. Blades not with the best restart in the world, but he's not let Welshak get too far away. But we're back underway. 5 more laps here. Atom looking for the outside line, down in towards turn 1. Can't remember the last time Atom picked up a podium actually here in GRL. He wouldn't mind one here this evening at Spa. Let's see if he can make it. Not the best of runs all the way through turn 1, and Jacob got some good straight line speed, but it's all to play for.
Well, I can tell you when he picked up a podium. It was literally the sprint race about 20 minutes ago at Darragh.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Well, you can say that, but I would argue Oscar Piastri would still class his win as a win, even whether it's the sprint race or a Grand Prix. But no, either way, Atom looking pretty racy then on the restart. Tried to get it past Jacob in the opening couple of corners, but he's still having to sit behind for the moment, almost into the back of that Ferrari he goes. I think he just about got it stopped in time, but B Ford lurking in the mirrors, that black Mercedes definitely ready to pounce at a moment's notice, and the man behind the wheels is no stranger to picking up the mistakes of others as Atom gets a bit squirrely out of Fuon. And yeah, I'm waiting for the Cobra to strike, shall we say, because yeah, Beefwood looking incredibly racy at the start as well.
Yeah, he's had a very good restart, hasn't he, so far, but we'll have to see how much further he can progress. Right then, Blades really has dropped off the back of Welshak. Look at the speed for Atom here, around the outside of Jacob, using that ERS, sweeps into P3. Beeford might have a bit of a go as well, down in towards the bus stop chicane on the Ferrari. He's going to have the outside line into the bus stop chicane. He gives Atom a bit of a love tap through the mid-corner, and he's going to lose out a little bit of time because of that to Jacob, but Jacob just about holds position, then losing time, hand over fist to the two up in front, and it looks like it's just between Welshak and Blades for the win here with 4 to go.
Yeah, I think it could be panning out that way. Beeford really needs to do it this lap, or he's going to say goodbye to the potential win here of the Grand Prix, because time is running out and that gap is opening up. We could now potentially see a move for P4. He pulls up, or he's trying to get alongside that Ferrari. Again, looking incredibly quick in a straight line. He's going to try and follow the Alpine through. Into Le Combe they go. He's got P4, but he's going to have to work for it a little bit more to pick up P3 as well. But he'll continue following Atom, and I'm sure he'll get as close as he can to, again, make the move. But yeah, picks up P4 now, does B Ford. Got past Jacob, and now his former teammate up ahead of him. I wonder if he'll put up much of a resistance. I would imagine he will, because Atom is going to want that podium.
Yeah, he, like I said, with not really having a podium in a Grand Prix for quite a while, he wouldn't mind one now, would he? So let's see if he can pick one up here. Again, 3 and a little bit laps to go. And it's really Atom, Beeford and Jacob racing after P3 here. Gibson's a long way behind, and these 3 are a long way behind Welshak and Blade. So really, there's the battle for the win and the battle for P3, and then the clamour over the other positions, 6th all the way down. But, I mean, this looks like it could get very tasty when the DRS is enabled.
Yeah, it definitely will do, because it will give them that burst of speed down the straight. Of course, the letterbox on the back rear wing will open up, allowing them to gain about 15 kilometres extra pace down the straights in the DRS zones. Maybe not this first one across the start finish, but definitely down the Kemmel. But yeah, I'm just looking back at this battle quickly for 6th all the way down to, I think, the final point, or to the final positions, and it's looking incredibly close. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in that occasion. But I'm going to bring us back forward then towards the battle for P3. I may even jump to the lead, but I think Blade's already got the move done, as we're still on board here with B Ford. He's going to make the move on Atom's already got it done. Will we see Jacob go past Atom as well? Into Le Combe they go, side by side. Jacob trying to hold it around the outside, but Atom just about covering him off and taking that defensive line into the second part of that chicane. And for the moment then, B Ford up into the podiums. Atom holds on to P4, but he's got Jacob hot on his heels, trying to pick up P4 from him. Yeah,
let's see then. I mean, B Ford looks like he's run away a little bit, hasn't he, here in P3, so he might be able to hold this one off to pick up a podium. But Blades in the leader on Welshak. I mean, Welshak will be looking at that DRS in lap 21 thinking, do I want to overtake him now or wait a lap and maybe try and overtake him on the final lap? We'll wait and see on that one. Meanwhile, B4 is starting to gain on these two, so if they start to fight, he might be able to work his way up into the battle, into the closing couple of laps, but again, we'll have to wait and see on that one. As well, Jack Lee gets so close, down in towards the bus stop chicane on Blades, but not close enough to make the move. And look at Jacob as well, inside line here on Atom. He's going to make the move to the inside at the bus stop chicane, and Atom down to 5th.
Yeah, that's not what Atom wants to see, but he'll now pick up the DRS, not on this start-finish straight, but definitely up on the Camel, and he should make, I would imagine he'll get that position back pretty much right away, but this is now going to come down to strategy with only 2 laps to go until we see the checkered flag, and you really want to be sort of in second place. So if I was Welsh Jack, yeah, I'd probably want to sit behind Blade for this lap. You'll see the DRS open, and I bet he won't go for the move because he'll want to go for the move into the final lap, because then there isn't really another place to overtake except the bus stop. And of course, we have seen moves there. Moves can be made there even without the DRS, because like I say, that slipstream effect comes into play once again. But for the moment, yeah, Welsh Jack sitting behind Blade, and he will continue leading this Grand Prix through no name corner. They go firing it down towards Pouon. And B4 there, you can just see lurking in the background. He's just over a second back from these guys out front. And if they do end up battling a little bit harder, a little bit more, may even see B4 come into play into this battle for the lead.
Yeah, we might see him just about put his nose in somewhere. I mean, Blades and Welsh Jack, they are really going to be the two fighting over the win. But B4, look, he's pushing for all he's worth to get into that DRS window, and he's just about done it, but he's got no ERS to fight with from now on, and the top two have quite a lot more, so it's not looking great for B4, and B4 himself might just be slipping out of the DRS window into the final couple of corners. In fact, he won't have DRS down towards turn 1, but Welsh Jack getting close to the back of Blades here. He's not going to have an overtake, I don't think, down in towards turn 1. He doesn't really want to. He wants to wait and sit in behind to get the run all the way down in towards Les Combes. Will Blades try and play for the DRS a little bit? No, is the answer. He doesn't really, he's not really bothered by it, and B4 is not going to be close enough to catch and put himself into that train. Up the hill they go, and I think Welsh Jack is going to be a pretty easy overtake. The DRS is going to allow him right the way past. And here he goes, outside line. It's not going to matter because he's going to be well past before the corner, but is he? Because Blades is giving it a right old go. But yeah, Welsh Jack a little bit too much, and he now leads. Half a lap to go.
Yeah, half a lap to go indeed. Welsh Jack leading the Grand Prix. Nice, easy overtake up the Kemmel Straight. We've still got the run down Blanchimont towards the bus stop. That's going to be the final chance for Blade to take the lead, I think, of this Grand Prix. Half a second of a gap opened up between the two. Now 6/10. Welsh Jack's really gunning it and trying to push every inch, well, every inch of circuit, but every ounce of time out of that car and try and build a gap between him and Blade, because he knows that that is a quick car behind him. He knows it's quick in a straight line, and he also knows that moves can be made into the very final corner of this Grand Prix. But the gap now 7/10 as they make the way towards Stabilo. I don't think Blade's going to have enough time, or he's going to have too big of a gap to make up then as they fire it towards the final corners.
Yeah, it's been a very, very good display from Welsh Jack here. He's really played this very nicely indeed. He went just when he needed to, and really, Blades hasn't really been able to come up with the reply. So Welsh Jack, he's got to run into the final couple of corners. He doesn't look like he is in any problems at all. Comes through the final corner, and he will win here in Belgium, extending his championship lead as we head into the mid-season break. Blades second and B4 with a valiant P3. Atom will pick up fourth, but just ahead of Jacob, who will slot back down into P7 behind Robin and Gibson. Jacob, Tobias, then Rob Kelly in the top 9 with Thieflaw running out the top 10, Sam, and then it'll be Dom rounding out the 12 finishes. But I mean, that was a cracking race overall, wasn't it, Ashley?
Yeah, it was. We got a nice sprint to the end. The safety cars in the middle, I want to say ruined it, but at the same time I think they also made it, because it means we did have a big switch of strategies, and it really had to make sure that everyone was on top of their game in terms of what tyre to put on the car. But of course by the end of it, it didn't matter, because we had a straight, flat out sprint to the end.
We did, and it was a fantastically exciting sprint to the end. But let's have a look at our race results. And here we go. Welsh Jack wins and gets fastest lap from P2 on the grid. Blades got pole but can only finish second. Then it's Beeford, Atom with Robin in the top 5. Gibson, Jacob and Tobias in the top 8 with Rob Kelly and FIFA Lord 9th and 10th. Sam, Dom with the other two finishers with Cam, Phoenix, Stannard, Zach, Jacob and Mizzy not quite making it to the flag. But let's go back to the calendar. We'll try and invite Blades and Beeford into the party. And get their reactions to the race. But, I mean, it was just an exciting race, and you feel important for the championship, really, don't you?
Been dominating race after race, and he's really putting on a good performance to take the bull by the horns, and he's just opening that gap up more and more to his rival there of Beeford. But of course, Blade, it's good points for him. He'll close up the gap a little bit to Beeford as well, albeit not by too many points, but still some nonetheless. So it's going to be a very tight fight at the top between, I would imagine, these three all the way to the end of the season. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't say I'm not, because it is very close. The points are close, and so's the racing on track. So it's still going to be well, no better word for it. It's going to be close till the end of the season.
It is definitely so. But we have got Blades and Beeford into the party. So Ashley, would you like to take it away?
Oh, I can. I'm trying to remember who came where, but I remember now it's P4 in P3. I'll bring it back to the sprint to begin with, because you did an absolute stellar performance in that one. How did you feel about sort of taking second place in that race overall in the end?
I was very happy with Peter. As soon as I was starting right at the back, so can't complain. Obviously, I know I'm surprised no one in front pitted, to be honest. So a bit fortunate, but I still had to make the move. So happy with the sprint.
Yeah, as you absolutely should be. You picked up some points over your championship rival in that race, as well as he was one of the non-finishers in the sprint. But then bringing it forward to the actual race itself, started, was it up in P3, I believe, in the end? So pretty good start to begin with, yeah. And then yeah, I mean, I think my question more is, how were you trying to navigate the safety cars, as we did have three in the race overall?
But I didn't know what to do with strategy. I was very surprised to be in P3, so I didn't really know what to do with strategy, because I originally planned to go really aggressive, but when you're that high, you don't really want to gamble too much. But the first cars were fine. I'm really annoyed with the third one, 'cause I got damage somewhere. I don't know how. I didn't even feel any contact anywhere, so I still managed. But I was surprised I managed to keep pace with damage. So it was annoying, but it cost me the win really, because I think I had the pace for it. But it
I
was
was
just
going to say you.
carnage.
Honest, yeah, I was gonna say it really was, but you were still flying along even in that final stint. So, well done and fair play. I didn't realise you'd picked up damage actually, so that's a
Yeah,
very impressive race indeed.
I was battling with Rage, or Dyson, I think his name is now, on Game of Tag, and like as soon as I got by him, the next braking just went straight on. I was like, well, what's happened here then? So yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah,
Ah, well.
yeah, take some. Yeah, you have to win some, lose some, I guess, kind of thing. But you did very well to finish P3 in the end, especially after all the chaos of those safety cars. So well done to you. Uh, Blade, then I'll come to you, and I'm going to also bring it back to the sprint as well. What happened from your point of view then, as you were looking to try and make some moves up towards sort of the Lacombe chicane? It looked as though you were just a passenger, but what was your point of view on the incident there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the two other guys made contact, and I tried to cut back on the inside, and they spun into me. So, well, that's how I see it, but I don't know.
That's kind of how we see it too. It was more just sort of if there was any extra extra juicy bits you may have had or not. So yeah, I think very much you did look as though you were just a bit of a passenger in all of that one. So it was unfortunate, because you were looking to score some good points as well. But started on pole, fastest man of the lot out there. It looked as though you had a bit of a rocket ship underneath you. So how did you set up the car for the weekend? Was it that way, or was it just turned out to be so quick anyway?
Yeah, I kind of just set it up the way I liked it, and the way I liked it was to go pretty quick on the straights, but it seemed to give me the best pace over one lap. So I don't know. Maybe I could have played around a bit more with high wings, but I mean, you get pretty big advantage with low wings anyway. So yeah, and it worked out pretty well. I think it was a bit easier for me to manage the race with lower wings, but well, not all the time, but most of the time.
Understandable, but no, again, you've done very well. I'm going to bring it to the end, sort of the Grand Prix as well. What was the sort of thought process? You obviously took the lead with a couple of laps to go. I think Welsh Jack was really playing the strategic game to make sure he had DRS in the final lap. Was there a plan to maybe taking the lead sooner than you would have liked, or what was the thought process there?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had so much straight line speed, I would have basically had to brake down the straight to not pass him, so I didn't really think that was worth it. And then as well, I think if Welsh Jack had stayed ahead, he probably would have broken my DRS anyway for the middle sector. So I thought I might as well keep it alive for till the last lap. And if Jack makes a mistake on the final straight, might be able to get him back. But obviously he had a really good middle sector and didn't give me the opportunity. So yeah, GG's to him, and yeah, well deserved, I think, for the win.
I think the podium couldn't be more deserved between the three of you. Of course, all three of you setting absolute blistering times and putting on a good show for the racing as well. So no, well done to both of you, and of course, well done to Welsh Jack. Has he maybe had a one-liner for us, Dara, or has he not been able to get through to us?
Well, he's on PC and it's just difficult, so he's not been able to get through. But I did really want to quickly say, because I remembered it now, Beefwood, you could really say that you were flying at the end of that sprint race.
Could I? I think I was pretty quick. I didn't expect that.
Oh, I was. See, because I was told that you hated people saying things like he's flying along.
I don't know, I was
Gibson
flying
tried to
into a
tell you.
wall.
Don't listen to
No,
him.
he's not. Definitely not. I've not been waiting to give you an interview to say it, just in case that you react in a bad way. There we go.
I don't know.
But well done. And yeah, I mean, second half of the season, do you think you can pull it back, or I mean, you should be able to, or you have the confidence to?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's the gap? I don't know what the
Oh,
gap
I don't know.
is.
It's going to be around 20.
I've bought back bigger.
There you go. That's the confidence you need. Right, well, thank you, you two, and thank you as well, Ashley. We'll wrap it up there. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time here in GRL for the Australian Grand Prix. Very different challenge than Belgium, and it's going to be quite an interesting one that I think I'm going to look forward to. But between now and then, we hope you enjoy your next couple of weeks. Enjoy the Australian Grand Prix, actually, before we go to Australia in GRL. But from us, it's a very good evening, and we'll see you when GRL returns.